Okay, question number 1. You have a quadratic equation, x squared plus 2kx plus k squared equals to 0. And the question also gives you x, variable x equals to 1. So you substitute inside plus 2k times 1 plus k squared equals to 0. So rewrite the form. The square, normally the variable with power of square, we put in front of the equation. So plus 2k plus 1 equals to 0. So from here you can, if you experience enough, you will know that this one is a k plus 1 square equals to 0. It has only one root inside this quadratic equation, which is k equals to minus 1. You also can use the quadratic formula to prove that the answer is correct or not. Quadratic formula is a very what we call that, common, typical formula to check whether the root inside the equation is correct or not. It is a best way among 4 methods like factorization, try and arrow, completing the square. Okay, so we use the quadratic formula to examine minus b squared. The k is equals to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, also equals to here minus 2 power of the b, ax squared plus bx plus c. So 2 plus or minus 2 square minus 4 1 divided by 2 times 1, the a here. Okay, so the answer is 4 minus 4, 0. Here is 0. So of course minus negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this is how you check. Always recommended this method, the quadratic formula. Recommended. Always recommended. And for second questions, you have three parts. For part 1, you have 2x squared minus 3 equals to 5x. Either you move the left hand side equation to right hand side, but for me I want to make the what we call that, the step easier, so I move the right hand side equation, the right hand side variable into a left hand side. 2x squared minus 5x minus 3 equals to 0. So here you can use this quadratic formula, or you just if you know how to do the factorization, it's very easy. 2x times x is equals to 2x squared. So minus 3 is equals to minus 3 times 1, or 3 times minus 1. So we see here what is the what we call it, the answer here. So because it's a minus 5x factorization, so here should be minus 3, here should be plus 1, then equals to 0. So your when you want to recheck 2x times minus 3 plus 1 times x is minus 5x, so it's negative 5x, so this is correct. So your x, 2x plus 1 equals to 0, so your x, the root here is minus half, and your x is x minus 3 equals to 0, so x is 3 . Sorry, we use an or here because either one is correct. And for question number 2, we have 3x square equals to 4x. Same, you either move the right hand side variable to left hand side or left hand side variable to right hand side, so should be 3x squared minus 4x equals to 0. And then you factor out the x is equals to 3x minus 4 equals to 0. So your x either is 0 and or x is equals to 4 over 3, because your 3x minus 4 equals to 0. So your x is, when you move this 4 to right hand side, so is 4 over 3 lah. But for third part, you have a quadratic function 4x squared minus 25 equals to 0. This is equals to ax squared plus c equals to 0. So to solve this equation, you can move the 4x squared is equals to, you move 25 to the right hand side. So your x squared is 25 over 4 divided by 4. And then square root it 25 over 4. So you get what? You get square root of 25, 5. Square root of 4, 2. So this is the answer. And then don't forget, because it's a square root, so you should put plus and minus here. Also, plus and minus here. So the answer, okay, I rewrite the answer again. The answer should be x should be plus and minus 5 over 2 here. Okay, question number 3. Write your, given the equation x plus 1, x minus 5 equals to minus 3. So the question needs you to write the answer correctly until 4 significant figures. 4 significant figures. That means this what we call that, this answer of the root of the x is not a round number. And just now what I say is you need to solve this question, you need to use the quadratic formula. It is very recommended. Even for the answer that have significant figures, you also can use the quadratic formula, and it is very fast to solve it. So to solve this question, the question number 3, you have first you try to complete this what we call that, factorization, to make it a complete quadratic equation first. X times x is x squared, then x times minus 5, 5x plus x, then plus 1 times minus negative 5, so is negative 5 lah, so is minus 3, and then x squared minus 5x plus x minus 5 plus 3 equals to 0. So your complete quadratic equation should be x squared minus 4x minus 2 equals to 0. And you know that this is very hard to factorize out because whenever you try, because let's say x, so let's say minus 2 plus 1 also cannot get this quadratic equation come up. So the best way, and since the question already told you write the answer to 4 significant figures, means that this one sure is not a round number. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not an integer, we so called. It's not an integer. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4 or minus 1, 2, 3, 4. So use this quadratic formula. X equals to minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So your x is equals to let me check am I write the equation correctly or not? Yes, correct. So your b here, because it's a minus 4, so minus 4, negative become positive, plus and minus square, minus 4 square minus 4ac, ax squared. A here is 1. And then divide times c is minus 2. And divided by 2, what is a? A is 1. So it is equals to negative 4. We now try to simplify all the things. 16, because it's a square, minus a negative become positive. Actually it is equals to minus times minus this part. So minus, so plus 8, then divided by 2. So your x is equals to 4 plus and minus 24 divided by 2. If you left your answer in this way, you will lose some marks in exam, because the question told you need to get 4 significant figures. So you need to press your calculator. So your answer should be x equals to, I now need to press the calculator. The answer is 4 significant figure, or x is equals to minus 0.4449. So this is the answer for questions number 3. 4495. 4495. Right, so this is the question number 3. Okay, for questions number 4, you have this equation, quadratic equation. You have this quadratic equation. Okay, the question asks you to express this quadratic equation into this one is a part of completing the square. And also the question asks you what is the value of x. So you need to find out, you need to express in this form, the completing the square, and then use the completing the square method to find out what is the value of x inside the quadratic equation. But before you solve this, these two things inside the questions, you need to simplify the quadratic equation at the first line. So simplify it, x squared plus 3x plus 2 equals to 5x squared plus 5x. And then for me, I don't like the first variable, the x squared here have a negative, so I plan to move the whole thing here, the equation of the left hand side to right hand side. So 5x squared minus x squared, and then plus 5x minus 3x, and minus 2 equals to 0. So simplify it, you have 4x squared minus plus 2x minus 2 equals to 0. So you can divide both sides, left hand side and right hand side, you can divide it by 2. Continue to simplify it. 2x squared plus x minus 1 equals to 0. Okay, now you can see the form here, x plus b squared a. So actually you can, to solve this, you can try to divide it by 2. You factor out this part. 2 x squared plus x over 2 minus 1 equals to 0. And okay, for continue further to make this what we call that, to make x plus b squared happen. So 2x, if you want to make, how to make the x over 2, so this one need to divide it by 4. So how you do this is x plus, you divide it by 4, divided by 2 square. Because you see, if you do in this way, you try to do the multiply x plus quarter times x plus quarter. Okay, I put in this way. You can see x plus quarter times x plus quarter, then you will get what? X squared plus quarter x plus quarter x plus 1 over 16. So also equals to x squared plus x over 2, then plus 1 over 16. So don't bother this, and you will see this part actually is equals to this part. And however, we just want this equation only. If you try to write in this expression, then you will get extra 1 over 16. So from here we need to do what? We need to minus 1 over 16. And don't forget, because here you have a times 2, so you also need to times 2 here. Minus take this part, then minus 1 equals to 0. And simplify it, you have 2x plus 1 over 4 square minus 1 over 8. Because you simplify, then here, and then minus 1. And don't forget, continue, simplify. You have 2, this one just show you only 2 x plus quarter square minus, I do some extra here. The 1 here, actually you can write in this term, minus 8 over 8, 8 divided by 8 equals to 0. So 2x plus quarter square minus 9 over 8 equals to 0. So you can see here is a x plus b square minus c. So your a is equals to 2, your b is equals to quarter, your c is equals to 9 over 8 minus negative 9 over 8. And to find out what is x here, so not yet finished, because we already do the first part. So now is the second part. So this is the first part. Let me jot down. This is A, this is B, and this is C. And what is x? So 2x plus quarter square is equals to, you move this term into right hand side, 9 over 8. And then x plus quarter square is equals to, divided by 2. Because here is multiply, you move to the right hand side, divide. So is 9 over 16. Divided by 2 means here this part is equals to 9 over 8 times 1 over 2 when you divide it by 2 lah, on the right hand side. From here, x plus quarter equals to, you square root it, plus and minus when you're talking about square root, 9 over 16. Okay, now I try to what do you call that? Remove some part of this equation. So continue. So you have x plus quarter equals to plus and minus square root of 9, 3, square root of 16, 4, and then x is equals to, okay, here very simple already. So let's say you have do the positive first. 3 over 4 minus quarter is 2 over 4, or your x minus 3 over 4 minus quarter equals to minus 1. So keep continue simplify it in the exam, because if you don't try to simplify the what you call rational number, so maybe the examiner will deduct some marks. So it's half, or x equals to minus 1. So this is the answer. So this is the answer for question number 4. Okay, before I talk about the question number 5, let me talk about something about the sum of the roots and the product of the roots inside the quadratic equation. So the lecture I taught in previous actually is not clear about what is sum of the root, what is a product of a root. Imagine in a quadratic equation you have ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So of course you factor out x squared, you divided by a plus b over a, x plus c over a equals to 0. And assume that the alpha and beta are the roots for the quadratic equation. So using the quadratic formula, your alpha and beta actually is minus b plus and minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and your alpha is equals to, let's say your alpha is equals to minus b plus square root b squared 4ac over 2a. So your beta is minus b minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the sum of the roots is equals to, this is the proven, sum of the roots is equals to alpha plus beta. So is equals to minus b plus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a minus plus minus b minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You see this is complicated. Actually it's not so complicated, because you can see the plus b squared minus 4ac the square root minus b squared minus 4ac the square root. So these both cancel, then left minus 2b divided by 2a, so it's equals to b over a. So this is the sum of the roots minus b over a. And okay, here the alpha plus beta is equals to minus b over a. So if you want to, let's say here minus b over a, your x square plus, because it's plus, so positive. So if you want to change to positive, your b over a should be equals to minus alpha plus beta. So plus alpha plus beta, then minus, keep make mistake here, minus alpha plus beta plus c over a equals to 0. Well, now we solve about the c over a. I try to I try to rub off the whole things. So use back what here, the product of the roots is equals to alpha times beta, so also equals to minus b plus square root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a times plus b, minus b minus square root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. When you see this, actually is quite difficult, but actually if you got study some algebra, if you imagine this is a, this is b, so you see this is a, the whole thing here is a, this is b. So when you try to rewrite the whole thing, actually is like this: a plus b times a minus b is equals to a square minus b square. So you assume a is minus b a is equals to minus b, so is equals to minus b square minus we do the upper part first, minus the b square over 4ac become whole thing square here, b square 4ac square, and then divided by 2a times 2a 4a square. Okay, I think I don't have much space to write, so I maybe I write off this part. Okay, so your continue proof here, because later we want to substitute back the COA here. Okay, so the product of the root alpha beta, so your alpha beta is equals to b square minus the square root, then square it is equals to b square minus 4ac and divided by 4a square. Okay, so b square minus b square 0, so minus times minus 4ac is equals to 4ac equals to divided by 4a. So simplify, and you get c over a. So your product of the roots is c over a. So maybe I should Okay, maybe I should okay, I put it in x squared minus alpha plus beta, sorry, x, forget x, then plus alpha beta. So this is how you prove. So actually I just add one more line here. Your alpha plus beta is minus b over a. So this is how you prove the product of the roots and the sum of the roots. So this is the product of roots. This is sum of roots. Okay, question number 5. Question number 5. You have two roots. You have x equals to 2 and x equals to minus 5. So the question asks find the quadratic equation when you have two roots, x equals to 2, x equals to minus 5. So the first method, method 1, quite simple. This method, you just x minus 2 when you move to the what we call the left hand side, the 2, and then x plus 5 equals to 0 for this quadratic equation. So x squared, x times x, and then x times 5 multiplies by positive 5, then x multiplies by negative 2, then minus 10 equals to 0. So x squared plus 5 minus 2 plus 3, x positive minus 10 equals to 0. So for method number 2, just now what I say is use the product of the root and sum of the root. You have x squared minus alpha plus beta, x plus alpha beta equals to 0. Just now I already proved in the how this formula come from. So this is sum of the roots, this is product of the roots. So assume that your alpha is 2, beta is minus 5. So this is sum of the roots. Sum of the roots equals to alpha plus beta equals to what we call that, 2 plus minus 5 equals to negative 3, and product of the roots equals to alpha times beta, so also equals to 2 times negative 5 equals to minus 10. So you substitute inside x squared minus minus 3x plus minus 10 equals to 0. So further simplify it, x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals to 0, equals to 0. So this is how you solve question number 5. Okay, question number 6. You have a quadratic equation 2x squared plus 7x minus 5 equals to 0. So the question say alpha and beta are two roots inside this quadratic equation. Okay, so x squared, to find out the roots, before you find out the roots, you divided by 2. Always make the quadratic equation, the x squared here, x to the power of 2 into the variable, the a here, make it become 1, so easy to solve. Plus divided by 2, 7 over 2 x minus 5 over 2 equals to 0. So this is it. And just now I told you the sum of the root alpha plus beta in the previous equation that I showed, that I proved, that I tried to what we call that how you gonna find the sum of the root and the product of the root? Okay, so alpha plus beta equals to minus b over a. So this is b, this is a. So your alpha plus beta, definitely the sum of the root, the plus here, I use the log symbol here, is equals to minus 7 over 2. And then product of the root is minus 5 over 2. So product of the root normally is a more easy one. But how you gonna show calculate is quite difficult. Just now I show you the plus b plus square root b squared over 4ac divided by 2a times minus b plus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a times minus b minus square root b squared over b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that one, that part. Okay, so this is the product, and then okay, so the question says find the quadratic equation where you have two roots. The quadratic equation have 2 alpha, 2 over alpha, 2 over beta are roots for new quadratic equation. So sum of the roots is equals to 2 over alpha times 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta. So it's equals to 2 alpha plus 2 beta. You see this one you times together. So here should be like this, alpha times beta. Here beta, 2 beta plus 2 alpha. So like this, because you can when you time this means that each of these variable, I do it for you. One example, 2 is like 2 alpha beta. Then you do for the 2 over beta also times the alpha beta. So you will get this part. And then here also equals to 2 alpha plus beta divided by alpha beta. Okay, I use the symbol here, the sum of the roots for the new quadratic equation. Maybe I just write the whole thing. Sum of the roots is equals to, okay, 2 alpha plus beta is what? Is minus 7 over 2 divided by minus 5 over 2. Okay, here you can simplify. Then also equals to minus 7 times 2 over 5. Then the final answer for sum of the root is minus 14 over 5. Okay, sorry, forget the negative, so should be positive 14 over 5. And then for products of the roots, equals product of the roots is equals to 2 over alpha times 2 over beta equals to 4 over alpha beta. So also equals to 4 alpha beta minus 5 over 2. So also equals to 4 times minus 2 over 5. Inverse it. So you get minus 8 over 5 lah. And then for the whole equation, new quadratic equation, the sum of the roots and the product of the roots, it should be right in this form. X squared minus 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta x plus 2 over alpha times 2 over beta equals to 0. So x squared minus, because here you don't have minus, minus 14 over 5x plus, okay, this is 2 over alpha plus 2 over beta, new sum of the roots. This part we have negative here. If this one is negative, then negative become positive, plus minus 8 over 5 equals to 0. If you want to write it more tidy, make it not as a rational number, so just times 5 both sides. So the answer should be 5x squared minus 14x minus 8 equals to 0. So this is the answer for question number 6. Press like, share and subscribe button if you like this video.